And guys, we are back with game two of the second set of today's semi-finals for the OSSL September tournament. Now, in game one, we saw TAV. It was actually pretty close, and TAV started dominating until this Baron fight happened. Now, the Baron fight was pretty impressive. Best team AU actually, the jungler just Schönfire just managing to dodge those picks and then jumping in with that perfect cataclysm followed up by the shockwave. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to see in this second game here, but um, I know for sure that it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, so of course unfortunately for Best Team AU, Team Alpha Void did actually manage to continue to run through with that pick comp, finding a few more picks and eventually did actually take out the first game. So Team Alpha Void now on our blue side are up 1-0 in this set. Of course, Best Team AU actually the defending champions of the OSSL league. So they really have their work cut out for them if they want to defend their title. Got to win the next two games in a row. Um, Mostly similar bans to last game so far, but of course that Oriana. Actually, this time banned out from Best Team AU. They used it to great effect last game, and they first picked it last game, in fact. So really respecting that Oriana pick, not wanting to give Team Alpha Void any chance to play it at all. Banning it away this game now that they are on the red side. And other bans so far are the same from both teams.
Yeah, but the Oriana ban actually getting pulled there for Best Team AU now. So
And Lucian, the one that Oriana ban was the one change up, and Lucian was the ban champion that has slipped through, and it looks like Team Alpha Void are going to look for him for a first pick. Just have to wait and see whether or not this is locked in, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this go through right now.
yeah, Lucian being a very strong AD carry. So let's see, because the Tristana has been banned as usual. Now, I'm not sure as to whether Best Team AU are going to run that Twitch again against the Lucian, because I do believe Twitch actually loses the matchup against Lucian.
I'm not really sure. I can't say it's a matchup I'm too experienced in, but Twitch not having the range of a lot of other AD carries, and Lucian, he doesn't have that much range, but if he gets in range, he does have quite a lot of damage. So I can imagine that matchup going in Lucian's favor. But it is also going to depend a lot on the supports as well, and just the overall team comps. If you have a team comp that supports a Twitch, even if he doesn't have the greatest laning phase, it can be worth just picking up that Twitch and hoping he can make it to late game. But are we going to see the second Blitzcrank of the day?
Yeah, the first Blitzcrank of the day, kind of. I think that went to the first Blitzcrank was
It
picked up
was,
by Volker, I believe.
and they didn't actually manage to win with that. Of course, I believe it was Pune on that Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
Made a number of plays. He had a few good hooks, but didn't manage to win it for his team in the end. But Rise locked in for vibes once again. Once again picking that blind, so really confident in his Rise play. And Schönfire this time taking away the Lee Sin from Delicious seems to be quite the contested pick between these teams.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Uh,
delicious Lee Sin last game, though.
yes, he was. Of course, that Lee Sin also doing quite some good work against Beast AD's Twitch, who a number of times was unable to ambush away thanks to that reveal. But Braum Syndra picked up. Braum Lucian, a very, very strong lane. Those concussive blows being able to be procced very, very fast with that Light Slinger passive from Zillion. Zillion? Lucian? What am I saying? And yeah, they just have a lot of damage together, and so bit vulnerable to poke though. So this Caitlyn pick makes a lot of sense, and if they it's going to be Corky anyway. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Nami or a Sona, one of those high range supports that is going to be able to, get some poke in on Braum before he can actually land and, initiate an all in like he really needs to.
Yeah, that Braum Lucian lane looking pretty scary, but the Corki has been locked in.
Hmm.
That's some very good burst to counteract the Lucian, but still not sure how the lane's going to turn out without the second support uh,
Yeah.
being picked. But Oath actually taking that Ari off of Frey, but Frey did lock in the Syndra beforehand.
Yeah, so Syndra Ari is very much a skill-based matchup. Um, it is all going to be down to Oath to dodge that Scatter the Weak stun out of Frey. And, it's Syndra has a lot more burst than Ari, and, that unleashed power, once he presses that R button, there is no dodging it.
Yeah,
Um, so,
just going to be a lot of balls smacking
Oath's
into your face.
but if Oath can dodge the initial damage, Unleash Power alone is not enough damage. It's about half your health if he has enough balls out. But Oath being able to use that mobility, Cinder of course very immobile. So if Oath can land a charm and or just dodge a number of abilities out from Frey, it's just a skill based matchup. And we do see Jimmy back on his Shen. And is this potentially delicious on Jungle Kale?
Yeah, I'm pretty curious as to whether it's going to happen because I've seen Jungle Kale in solo queue and
Mm,
it either goes really, really well or it just doesn't make any impact whatsoever.
yeah, and we do see best support Oz once again on that Zillion. So going to be able to use that range, those bombs to put some harass down onto Tortle and Playmaker. Um, and just hoping that Beast AD is able to, use his abilities, be a bit self-sufficient in this lane. They're really going to have to make sure they dodge these Winter's bites out from Playmaker, but it will be delicious on this Jungle Kale by the looks of things, and I'm interested to see what he chooses to build because like you said, I also have seen a fair amount of Jungle Kale in solo queue. Not commonly, but you see it here and there, and I've seen a lot of different build paths. Kale actually a fairly decent Feral Flare jungler, but she really also needs some form of mana regen. So whether we see the Feral Flare and Spirit Stone combination is a possibility, or whether we just see that straight up Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, or even Spirit of the Elder Lizard. I don't see Spirit of the Ancient Golem being a choice. Really, Kale is a much more offensive jungler. Um, but yeah, Kale also bringing a lot of damage to this team, and this Team Alpha Void composition is looking very strong. They have 3 high damage threats and 2 really, really difficult to deal with tanks in Braum Shen that are just able to sit in the front line and force all of the focus from best team AU onto them.
Yeah, the CC as well coming out from those two just going to be immense. But Best Support AU has picked up the Zillion, so even if Team Alpha Void do get a very good engage onto one of the carries, there is that Chrono Shift constantly available.
Mm. And fairly similar comp for them. Once again, the support Zillion and the Rise, and of course with Corki now in there, their team is very significantly magic damage heavy. So look to see most likely Playmaker picking up a Locket of the Iron Solari fairly early on into the game. Pretty much after he finishes his main support item in the Sightstone, I would imagine to see him wanting to pick up that Locket of the Iron Solari because usually you see it on either the support or the jungler, and I don't see Kale being a more offensive jungler really doesn't want to be spending gold on that aura item. So I would expect the Playmaker to be picking up that up fairly early. But yeah, their team is very magic damage heavy. And although one thing we have to point out is the Team Alpha Void team, unlike last game where they had, the Death Sentence, the Charm, they don't have as much pick potential. And that pick potential was really what won them the last game. So we'll have to see if they can, use a bit of a different comp, use a bit of a different strategy, and still pull out a win this game.
Yeah, they the purple team's still looking actually no, best team AU now seems to be going for the picks while Team Alpha Void might be looking for the team fight a little more now.
Yeah, not quite as much pick potential. They don't have the death sentence that we saw last game, but they still have the charm, and of course, Schönfire on that Lee Sin, able to pull some potential insect style plays with that Dragon's Rage back into the team. We saw Delicious last game pull a couple of those that were quite nice to watch. Um, but they do have a lot of burst in if they do manage to land that charm. Of course, Ari bursty by herself. Vibe's able to put down a lot of burst, and of course, Corki a very bursty AD carries. So, yeah. That said, the pick potential is, of course, able to be completely nullified by Delicious's intervention. If he's not the one caught out himself with that charm, and he's not locked up with crowd control, he will be able to put that intervention on anyone who's taking a large amount of burst damage and just completely nullify it. So, yeah, both teams overall looking to have fairly strong compositions once again. So, interested to see how this game plays out.
Yeah, and we are going into the loading screens now. Let's see. Let's first see the fashion wall. Let's see. You've got one skin on Team Alpha Void and one skin on
It's two
Best Team.
apiece. What are you talking about?
Actually, no. Hired Gun Lucian. I forgot the white Lucian skin.
It's two skins apiece. What are you talking about?
Two
But
skins.
this level one actually a lot more even than it was last game. Mostly due to that charm. Now on the side of Best Team AU, they have a little bit more. They have a bit more pick potential at level one than they did last game. But Team Alpha Void's still having a very strong level one team. Not as much single target pick potential as they had last game, but they still have the Shadow Dash at level one, which proved to be very, very effective in. Wait, no, I'm thinking of the game before that. Sorry. Although they did actually land that last game. Yeah, so that Shadow Dash, they do still have the team-wide lockup potential of that Shadow Dash at level one. And, of course, Braum with his Concussive Blows passive. Probably, in my opinion, the strongest champion in a level one fight is that Braum. Just that Concussive Blows are able to apply a team-wide stun at varying intervals. Just really, really tough to deal with. So, doesn't look like Beast AD's face. No, he just does place the ward and leave. That was a risky ward. He was in range of the Winter's Bite, but looks like teams are just planning their point defense right now.
Yeah,
and,
both teams pretty defensive at this point. However, Best Team AU seem to be stacking around their blue buff, whilst Team Alpha Void are just a little more spread out throughout the map. But we see Playmaker here maybe looking to make a play onto Beast AD, but Schönfire and Best Support AU are just around the corner.
Yeah, so just looking for a little bit of poke damage at the moment. Doesn't look like either team's going to be able to get too much in the way of invades. Looks like both junglers are going to start on the bottom side of the map. And once again, the same matchup in the